there, Trent. Mogwai here, and I got another MTG Arena video for you guys today. And today we're going to play some Timur Reclamation, a deck that I found on the Spike subreddit. It was an MTG online list that went 5-0, and I believe this is the one Croaky's posted on his Twitter as well. So I'm very excited to tackle Timur Reclamation. In case you don't know, Timur Reclamation is the archetype that I chose to compete with in the 7th Mythic Championship. And while my performance or my results, I guess, weren't all that great, it's still an archetype that I think was very strong and just happened to be weak to, Jeskai Fires, and it felt like it missed a little bit of power when it comes to board wipes against aggro decks. And I think Timur Reclamation has the potential to be a much high-tier deck this time around because of the introduction of 2 new cards from Theros Beyond Death, and those are Storm's Wrath and Thassa's Intervention. Thassa's Intervention is a very nice addition, but the real key new toy that we have is Storm's Wrath. This is the board wipe Red has been dreaming about for like the past few years, at the very least. This card is amazing. Its only problem is that it's a sorcery, which, with Reclamation, we want to be running mostly instants in our lineup, so we can really capitalize on basically the the fact that we're doubling our mana turn 4 onwards. But Storm's Wrath is still incredibly powerful. The fact that it also hits Planeswalkers makes this card actually enable us to come back from like a developed Nissa as well, which is really nice. This card is absolutely outstanding against Gruul aggro or Rakdos aggro. The fact that it kills the likes of Gruul Spellbreaker, and more importantly, Questing Beast and Shifting Ceratops, is absolutely amazing. And what's beautiful about this card is the fact that we can potentially play Storm's Wrath and then expansion it, and that way we actually kill Nissa as well. We just kill everything basically, which is really, really cool. So Thassa's Intervention is also really nice for the archetype. It's basically a 4 mana counter that we can also use as card draw potentially, and the more we rack up mana power with Reclamation, the more potential digging we can do in the late game, or just deny a card from the opponent. The flexibility is what makes this card really strong in this deck specifically. We're playing 2 copies of Gadwick and 3 copies of Uro. Uro I'm not really sold on in this deck. I think with Reclamation, you mainly want to be playing at instant speed because against a lot of decks, they have balancing mechanics or, enchantment removal, etc. And tapping yourself out at sorcery speed, even if you have a Reclamation on the board, can leave you vulnerable to the opponent interacting with said Reclamation. So I don't really like Uro in this deck. I don't think it fits too well. I did record a live recording with it, and I voiced my opinion a little bit more on there, but I'm just not really too keen on it, honestly. And the same goes for Gadwick. I understand Gadwick in this deck, like it does make sense, but I do feel like this deck can be improved significantly, actually. Though I love the inclusion of Wrath and Thassa's Intervention. That's definitely a no-brainer for the archetype. When it comes to the sideboard, we're running 2 Arboreal Grazers for more fast-paced sort of ramping, especially against more aggressive decks. Aether Gust, 1 off of Lava Coil, Sorcerer Spyglass, because fuck food, apparently. Triple Mystical Dispute, triple Shifting Ceratops, and 2 copies of Hydroid Crassus. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really understand when Hydroid Crassus is supposed to come in. I don't know if it's against aggro or against slower decks. I'm not sure like why we have 2 Crassus here and 2 Gataways. This is a deck that I took, right? I basically wanted to take a deck that had performed well before I started developing my own variant of it. So there are certain things that I don't fully understand from the sideboard and from deck building, which is normal because I didn't originally design this deck, right? So a lot of times I'm not going to see eye to eye with the person who designed this, but I do think this version can be better, though it's definitely strong, and I had quite a bit of fun with it playing it today. So hopefully you guys enjoy some Reclamation action. It's nice to have a big old explosion. If you don't watch Konosuba, then I am very sorry for you, honestly. So yeah, I recorded some good games, and hopefully you guys enjoy them, and that's all I gotta say. Have a whole day. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for daily content. I'll see you guys around. Little Fedopater versus the Dragon God himself. I miss me some Grixis. I think I want to go back to that soon as well. And I look at this hand and I see a keeper, because we have access to all 3 colors of Timur. And Uro on curve seems really nice, right? Even though we're lacking Reclamation, we can always get to that later. So I'm gonna drop this Temple of Mystery. Speaking of the devil, easy peasy. Right, we see Gruul colors right here. I do want to enable the Brazen Borrower in case my opponent drops something worth bouncing. I could see a Stomp here. Yeah, okay. Stomp into Bone Crusher Giant. All right, see, that's worth bouncing. If it was a Bone Crusher Giant, I really wouldn't have gone for this play. But this one is fine. Now I can drop the Castle of Ventress. I can play Uro. And I can drop this Steam Vents tapped and call that a turn. And now we're looking at some really solid setup, especially because soon we'll be able to enable a Storm's Wrath, which is gonna be pretty insane as our opponent drops, you know, person plus bird. I do definitely want a red source of mana though. I'm gonna go for a mountain here because we need to enable the Storm's Wrath. Let's go ahead and drop you. And as it's about to tap, we resolve, we tap you, and we go for the Growth Spiral. Because that way we still enable the Brazen Borrower, which is nice. And I'm gonna keep this opt for now. Even though we are filling up our graveyard rather quickly. Alright, let's tap, and go for the Brazen Borrower to block this, prevent damage basically. Also, again, fill up our graveyard so that we can, you know, get Uro on the board as early as possible. To be expected. Let's go for the opt. I don't think I want that right now. I already have 2 sources of red mana, and I'm bound to draw lands anyways. Another Reclamation. Now that is very sexy indeed. The problem is I can't, like, I don't think it's worth it for me to. I think I would rather do this. We're obviously gonna keep that there. Yeah, I think. Do I prioritize another Reclamation? This makes things a little bit awkward because I have a lot of like sorcery like effects, right? I could go for an Uro here. Instead of the Reclamation, it does draw me a card. Let's do that. It does enable the next Uro as well. I'm gonna pass. Yeah, it's one of the things that I was like really, you know, just really confused about the deck. I like Uro and I like Storm's Wrath, but it makes it so that Reclamation isn't always all that amazing. All right, that's a big hit we're taking, but I think it's one we can take anyways, at least for now. No. All right. Go in for the big hit, dropping us down to 10. And now we're gonna scry. As we see a Brazen Borrower, a very, very key card here. I think we can drop you for now. But Brazen Borrower definitely makes a lot of sense. Even though that land right there is definitely good news, right? If we play you, like, this is a bit awkward. How much is this explosion that we're looking at? How about we Storm's Wrath? Just play it safe. Because if I go for a Reclamation, I don't have any other instant speed effects here. I think I'm gonna go for this. Could have copied that, but I don't think it's worth it. I'm trying to like stay alive, but at the same time, I need to get some offense going. Bounce that. A A land is exactly what I wanted to see. But an untapped land, basically. 4-7. Now we can go for the reclamation. And for Uro. And that Thassa's intervention is huge. I wonder if I should go for an explosion here. Let's see how much I can tap. 2, 3. All right, he's just quitting there. But yeah, that I would have basically played an explosion and kept a reasonable Thassa for counter, and I think we're good there. Considering the matchup, we definitely want to add in a couple of Aether Gusts, a Lava Quill, and I would assume a couple of our Arboreal Grazers, just so that we can survive a little bit earlier on. Brazen was really key there. Gadwick seems something that we can at least drop as a one-off here. Thassa, I believe we could potentially drop as a one-off as well, considering he's probably going to be bringing in Ceratops, and we're on the draw now, right? So that definitely limits our plays. I don't know how I feel about this Arboreal Grazer though, because I would rather. Okay, let me drop one of you. Let me drop. I mean, Uro is pretty good there. It gains health, right? But maybe I can drop one of it as well. I would honestly just rather have one Grazer. Let's keep it like this. I'm still not sure about the Arboreal Grazers. I mean, I understand how they make sense if you want to be a little bit quicker, but I don't know what I would take out for two of them, right? Like, I didn't design this sideboard, so I'm not entirely sure I agree with every component of it, but I just love the fact that I get to play Storm's Wrath with... Like, I also don't know how I feel about Uro. I don't know. He hasn't felt amazing, at least not right off the bat. I guess we'll keep this, and we'll drop you. So much for Grazer. Alright, there's the Pel Collector. I don't think we need an expansion right now. What we do need is Stomping Ground into Growth Spiral. Stomp. Well, we see okay, another Pelt. My opponent isn't being like super fast when it comes to damage generation, so we're gonna capitalize on this. We're not gonna sack that just yet, as we're gonna drop another one, and then we're going. Okay, so we have two sources of red mana, so I would assume just one island and one forest is what makes sense. Just like that. We make him cry uncle. Rank upper, baby. All right. That feels a bit bullshit though. Like, that was a best of 3 series, and I probably should have played a best of 1 game and gone with that. But I'll take it. It's not that often that I get a 10-minute best of 3 series. That means I can get more games in the video, which is nice. All right, round 2. Fedopater on Fedopater crime. Let's do this. I think this hand's a trap. This hand doesn't feel much better, but I'm not gonna go below this. Since I am on the draw, I have to bank on us drawing more lands and being able to curve out. But even if we curve out, it's not like we have, you know, amazing tools right now. Like, we need lands. Okay, that works. Scry for land, that's tempting. It truly is, but I need lands. Okay, this may be actually a mirror match. And my opponent does not find a land. So let's see if we can break the symmetry here. Come on, baby. Come on, Uro. There you go. Attaboy. Attaboy. Let's get that down. Alright. So he's missing a 4th land, which he could find now. Fuck yeah. Yeah, if this is the same deck, he can't really counter this, which is nice, because we can just play this. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. He could bounce it. And he probably will. Yeah. Because he could very easily have a Thassa's Intervention. But we're gonna be persistent. We're gonna keep trying. Beautiful. Nice. I'm gonna draw. I'm gonna let that go by. I don't think I need Gadwick here. I mean, as good as Gadwood can be, like I know he's very strong. I don't want to tap myself out at Sorcerer. I should have dropped Storm's Wrath, actually. Yeah, let's just not let that happen. He tapped himself out, which is, yeah, I should have definitely dropped the Wrath, by the way, because now, yeah, now I definitely would have benefited from that. Okay, so how many cards is that? Not enough. What can we do? Yeah, I definitely made a mistake there because Gadwood would have been amazing here. Gadwood would have been for sure amazing. Do I go for an explosion? I don't. So I shouldn't have done that. I kind of like went back on my decision there. I'm gonna drop the Brazen Borrower instead. An explosion here is nice, but it does leave me vulnerable. And yeah, I'm just okay. He just concedes. I'm surprised. Like this game was far from over, but I guess I'll take it. And yeah, I guess he just okay. So I did go up 1. Okay. I guess he just did not like the mirror. To be honest, I'm actually kind of relieved because I want to showcase a deck in other matchups. I'm not super, happy with the way I piloted that. I think dropping Gadwick was a huge mistake. I think I definitely should have dropped the Wrath because I just didn't expect. Honestly, I just did not expect him to tap himself out. I don't think in a mirror like that was not correct. In a mirror like that, you don't tap yourself out like that. You leave yourself so vulnerable. I just didn't think he would give me that opportunity, so that's why I went with that, right? But obviously, I did end up regretting it. This is a 2-lander, but I am on the draw, and I do have a Growth Spiral and Uro, so the odds are I will be able to... I'm going to lead off with this, as I can drop a Forest afterwards. The odds are I will be able to curve out. I don't need another Reclamation, considering how we may be facing Flash. And Flash won't let me get a Reclamation in. So I'm going to drop that to the bottom and go with this. Remember when I said he wouldn't let me get a Reclamation in? I lied. Still stand behind that decision though, because we need to draw more lands. 1 Reclamation should be enough here. Now we get to basically do a bunch of stuff, given that we continue to curve out naturally. Sure. So this could not be Flash. This could just be straight up ramp, which is good for us. That's fine. That's problematic. Didn't expect... is Brazen Borrower a thing in ramp decks? Okay, Nisa's going down.
I will protect the virtue of this world. Rise, my elemental friend.
This is the main issue that I have with so many like sorcery speed effects. Like I don't know how I feel about Uro in this deck. I think it just leaves us vulnerable, to be honest. I need another source of blue mana before I can even play Gadwick, which is obviously an issue. I have a board to deal with as well, so this is where Wrath really comes in.
Harness the elements.
I can't counter this. Alright, it's safe to assume we're dead. We can't really come back from that. Nisa is just, you know, Nisa, too strong. Let's add in a couple of these. Let's add in some mystical disputes. Let's deal with the sound bug as well. Why not? I think Crassus is also better than Gadwick here. How good is Crassus though? This is really distracting me, this fucking noise. Man, just going back to arena and dealing with this buggy bullshit is really obnoxious, not gonna lie. I'm gonna drop a Uro. I don't like Uro in this deck. I don't know, I cannot get behind Uro in this deck. I think it's detrimental. It forces us to... It leaves us vulnerable in so many different scenarios. I just don't like it. I think you just can't justify it. I think it makes the deck worse. I would rather have something like Bone Crushing Giant, for example. I love Wrath. I think Storm's Wrath is amazing here. Alright, we're gonna keep that. But Uro just feels like really, really bad. I don't understand what it's doing in this deck. I do not understand what it's doing. I'm gonna search for an island here and drop the Reclamation. We could see a mystical dispute. We're gonna drop Uro there and just keep sucking through our deck. We do have a counter spell for Nisa. We have Aethergust for Nisa as well. It's not looking bad. We're close to being able to bring back Uro. We need 2 more cards in our graveyard. If our opponent doesn't do anything, we can just threaten them with the Borrower. So we're in a pretty solid position. And I will definitely be countering this. Though, to be fair, I could... No, I can't do that in that. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Let's do this. Alright. I like that Storm's Wrath there. I think what we're going to do now, we have a total of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. A 4 power expansion explosion that draws us 4 cards. I think that's definitely worth it. Hitting him for 4, dealing all that damage there. Sure. We could see a mystical dispute here. Alright, got him. Got him. I think we keep as is. The best way to navigate around this is with, honestly, with counter spells and even Mystical Dispute, because we can expect our opponent to be playing Mystical Disputes. I should probably be... No, because you can think, well, bring Lava Coil, but the beautiful thing is Storm's Wrath also deals with Shifting Ceratops, which is one of the biggest threats towards us, right? So, I'm okay with this. I'm not okay with my habit of biting my fingers, what I'm thinking, but, you know, it's a work in progress. So let's see. I went to the gym today, by the way, for the first time in this year, in a while. You know, New Year's resolutions and all that stuff. It felt good. It felt good. Didn't feel good in the moment, you know. It's an experience filled with pain and such, but afterwards, it feels pretty great. I like this hand. Not much more I can ask from it. We have Growth Spiral turn 2. Turn 1, Temple of Epiphany. And I will be keeping that Mystical Dispute there as well, because counter spells are important when we're facing a deck that just loves to play big boy dudes. I will counter a Risen Reef if it goes down here. I will not counter that. Interesting. That must mean he has a dispute, right? No, he doesn't. Okay. Which one of these two do I prioritize? Blue or red? I mean red, given that I have an island, right? We have a bunch of counter spells here, so we basically have to play a bit of on the reactive side. And now we're gonna put him in a bit of a pickle, because if he doesn't do anything, we can start scrying. I like that Castle of Interest draw. What is this? A dead Brazen Borrower, that's what that is. We know he doesn't have Mystical Dispute. Ain't nobody got time for that. Two sources of red is pretty much all I need, right? I do want to thin my deck out of lands, so I think it's best to drop this. I'm gonna search for an island, actually. Because this way I can potentially scry with Castle of Interest and also opt. I'm gonna opt first to get the scry value out of it. I don't know about, how's my graveyard looking like? Oh, pretty, it's gonna be pretty beefy here. Maybe Uro is fine, actually. And now I can scry too. We pay 4 life here, but this also does enable our Ventress. And now we do have the graveyard set up for Uro next turn. With enough mana to cast him. We see him keeping both cards at the top, which is interesting. I'm gonna clear those units and call that a turn. I'm gonna be patient. A Brazen Borrow there would have been problematic, but we must counter this. Hopefully my opponent doesn't have a counter himself, like a Mystical Dispute. That would be problematic. Alright, he does. This could be our end.
The land fights for us.
This could be our end here. Maybe I should have not jumped the gun like that. Especially when I had expansion backup. Maybe I was a little bit, but I mean, Risen Reef could have really gotten out of hand. We don't mind this. Just because he's untapped with Nisa, even though it's it can actually mean an auto loss. Okay, it seems he doesn't have Crassus. Like, I was gonna say, it can mean an auto loss if he has Crassus. But this Uro can protect us. At least for now. As we attempt to scry. Get rid of these 2 land top decks and see if we can find something of use here. Like that. He had a borrower. Today has been the tale of just premature concedes. Premature concedes the movie. Just because I think people are just like super negative about it. They just think that just because I didn't have a counter spell, man. Like, I don't have to have a counter spell in my hand. You can play it out, you know. Just because your Nisa gets returned to your hand is not the end of the world. Maybe it is. Maybe that's how Nisa players think. But yeah, I mean, it kind of sucks leaving it like so close to mythic rank. But you know, I'd rather just play a quick best of 1 because considering I only have one of these things, you know, I guess I'll leave you guys with a bit of a tease, a cliffhanger, if you will. And we're gonna end the video here because we're already 40 minutes into it, and if I go into another best of 3 series, it's gonna turn out to be too long. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the games. You know, somewhat. I mean, I didn't really get to showcase much of the deck. I mean, Uro did put in the work towards the end there. But I'm still honestly not convinced on it. Like, The one thing that I like about this deck is the Storm's Wrath. I think this is an excellent addition to Temur Reclamation. It's exactly what Temur Reclamation needed when it comes to board wipes. But, and Thassa's Intervention as well. Very good as well. Super good. Super great in this archetype. Like, these two cards are fantastic. But Uro, I don't really think fits here. And I would tweak this sideboard a bit as well. Not my favorite version of Temur Reclamation that I've ever seen, but these two cards make the archetype really promising, and I may be dwelling into it in the future and taking my own approach at it, because, you know, I liked the performance of those two cards. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you guys for watching. Have a swell day. Leave a like, because it's free, and free stuff is good. Marketing, 10 out of 10. And yeah, I appreciate the support. I'll see you around.